Hi there, hope you're all doing well. This week I painted up a Duchies of Vinci guard captain from One Page Rules. I'm going for a bit of a warmer scheme this time compared to what I'd last done, as I want to go more towards the red scheme that the artwork has. It was black and white zenithally primed, and I get started with dark Fleshtone for all of the padding below the armour. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You could also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been working on. Next up, I go over all of the raised parts of the padding with Scarlet red. This just leaves that darker tone in the recesses and around the rivets. To bring up the inner parts of the pleats and the leather armor parts, I went over them with fur cloak. For the remaining parts, such as the raised pleats, I added a highlight with Hellspawn red. Finishing off the highlights on the fabric parts, I went over all of the edges with Volcanic yellow. This highlight is for all of these parts just to help tie them together again. To add some depth to the shadows of the fabric, I washed these parts with mid brown. It's a very warm brown wash that has a small red tint to it. Moving on to the leather straps and the pouches, I get started with a base coat of field grey. This has that green tint to it that adds that contrast with the red without being too in your face about it. Getting started on the highlights for the leather parts, I grabbed Ranger Cloak and brought up all of the raised parts. Finishing off the leather parts, I went over all of the edges with Kobold Grey. Since I'm going for a warm feel on this mini, I want the base to have more of a cooler feel. So with that in mind, I grabbed lead grey and just put up some of these stones for variation. Pushing the base even colder, I went over the base with black Lotus, which isn't really a black paint, it's more of a dark blue unless you do multiple coats. Now onto the longest part of the mini, I grabbed Surcoat Silver and went over all of the metal parts. This includes the parts that are going to be a different metal in the end, this is just the base coat for them. For the golden parts, I used Glorious Gold. I only added a few gold parts as I want to keep the silver as the primary type of metal. To make the bird companion stand out, I used Battle Axe Brass. Since there is a lot of silver on this mini, I thought I should grab Mythril Blade, just bring up some of the edges and one side of the mini. This is mostly for variation, but it gives that bit of light contrast as if it's coming from one side. Now to wash the metal parts, I went with Battle Mud Wash, but thinned down a lot just to help it flow into those recesses and not stain too much. I went for a brown wash though instead of a black one as I normally would, as this gives it a bit more of a warm tint as opposed to what a black would do. To polish off the base rim, I gave it a once over with black. And that will be it for the guard captain. He took less time to paint up than I expected, which is good because it means I could do an entire army in this scheme pretty easily. I won't be printing that army though until they release their narrative campaign, which then I can print out everything I need for that campaign at the same time. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You could also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been working on. As always, if you want a closer look at this mini, check out my Instagram page. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you enjoyed. Most importantly though, be kind to each other.